Storm is his name. He's a former Danish boxer and jihadist who later became a sworn member of Al-Qaeda. Along the way, he became a double agent for Western intelligence. His story is chronicled in a new book and the exclusive CNN special report, Double Agent Inside Al-Qaeda for the CIA. I want you to listen to this clip about the moment Storm told Danish officials he wanted to fight terror.
I told him I want something with pork and bacon in it, and I want the beer.
Beer and bacon for a Muslim.
They couldn't believe it. They couldn't really not believe their own ears. I told them, guys, I'm not longer Muslim. I want to fight the war on terror. And when I told him I was on their side, he high-fived me. He said, this is going to be great.
I want to bring in CNN senior international correspondent Nick Robertson. You saw they're interviewing Morton Storm and CNN terrorism analyst Paul Cruikshank, who co-wrote the book, Agent Storm, My Life Inside the Al-Qaeda and the CIA with Storm. Boy, gentlemen, this is an intriguing and twisted tale. Paul, I'll start with you. How did the documentary come to light? How did we find out about all of this?
Well, a Danish newspaper broke some initial details on the story. And so Nick and I contacted this guy on his Facebook page, the Facebook page of a cover company he was using in his espionage work. And a few weeks later, we met him in an undisclosed location.
My goodness. And then I know that, Nick, you've been involved in some of the reporting on this. At one point in the documentary, you call him the Forrest Gump of radical Islamism. Can you explain that to me?
This is a guy who just went out there, wanted to be radical, wanted to kind of join and mix with jihadists, and just wound up by the pure sort of time that he was doing this, the late 90s, early 2000s, that he was mixing with some of the people who were going to become top leaders in Al-Qaeda, the most senior figure inside Al-Qaeda in Yemen, and an inspiration to terrorists around the world, the American-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki. He also knew and associated with top Al-Qaeda leaders in Africa as well. So this is it. He just traveled the world and he met these people on his travels.
But somewhere along the line, Paul, he decides to switch sides. What motivates him, and how is he able to pull that off?
He became disillusioned with Al-Qaeda's worldview, the fact they were targeting so many civilians. Also, he was trying to go and fight in Somalia. He ended up not being able to go there, so that sense of the momentum that he had was stalled, and he had some time to do some thinking, and he decided that he was on completely the wrong path. He decided then he wanted to work for Western intelligence. He knew just how dangerous these people were because he knew them up close, and he'd wanted to take the fight to them.
He de-radicalized.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Very quickly de-radicalized, almost overnight. A lot of these people have this very fundamentalist interpretation of Islam. It's like a house of cards. So when it collapses fast.